In front of me, you have the agenda. To adopt.
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Minutes of the previous meeting is on the back side of your first page. I don't think there's anything.
Make a motion that we accept the minutes of the last meeting.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Treasurer's report.
Okay.
Looks like much different, huh?
Not a lot, the fire withholding account, I closed that because we paid that money back out to the homeowner. And so the $2.06 was the interest that we, got from that, so, that won't be on next month's report. Couple of CDs matured in September. I rolled those over to 27 months. The interest rates are already going down. And so, I think they're probably gonna go down some more, so I pushed them out there. But total funds right now, what,
I said that's only 2 years.
2 years and 3 months?
Yeah.
Mhm.
That
Total.
goes by quick.
Yes, it always does. Total funds right now are $908,551.86.
All right. Thank you, Dan. So we have on this pay the bills.
Nothing out of the ordinary. Total is $17,956.73.
Motion for the bills.
Yeah, second.
I have a motion and a second to pay the bills. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
I've given you the voter log for the year, nothing more exciting on it. Nothing else exciting happening in the township that I'm aware of. I do have some information that I'll share with you later on in the agenda regarding one of the topics we're gonna discuss.
The incomplete, so they're still incomplete, they haven't. You got
Which
two
one, Parks?
incomplete on here, Yoder and Parks.
Oh, yeah.
The one just got released this week, the first one on Riverside. The second one, I may have the supplemental data pending right now.
Okay, thank you, Douglas. Previous business, Sherry's got some.
The tree trimming is underway at the cemetery, so far they've done a wonderful job. Did some extra stuff for us too while they were down there. And, the children at play signs are up, still got that one. Okay, so there's still one on, the road right behind the church.
John Street.
John, I'm like drawing a blank, I'm like, I know what the name of that street is.
It's a good name, John.
John.
Yeah.
Sean.
we're gonna put that on the stop sign because there are no telephone poles. The telephone pole's like a bazillion feet away from the road, so, that required some different hardware, so
Yeah, I got the bolts.
that means there's one left, I think.
One left.
Barker's still an issue though, because
There's
there's
nothing
no,
on
there's no
Barker.
signs. The telephone poles are extremely far off the road, so I don't know where we could even put one if, you know. And there, at the beginning, down by M103 is the sign that says, you know, no trucks, no truck traffic, and they flip the sign because of the frost
Yeah.
coming out of the ground and stuff. Well, if you've been down there, you'll see that there's a great big nice grapevine growing all over it, you know, so, so yeah, we haven't addressed Barker.
Can anybody else got any old business, previous business to do?
I could probably just mention, since you asked about it last month, the possibility of taking electronic payments for taxes. I have a meeting with BSNA payments guy, to talk about that in a couple weeks, so we'll see if it can be up and running by winter collection, that'd be great.
Cause wasn't the plan to test it in summer, which didn't happen? I mean,
No.
Did they think it would be ready then, or?
I don't know, I don't know. Everything just slowed down when I
Yeah.
broke my bones, so, yeah. So anyway, yeah, we'll see if I want to advertise it for winter or just softly advertise.
Right, no, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Pick a chosen few.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Or if someone asks, we
Right.
can say, yes,
Yes.
this is an option,
Yes.
so we'll see. But anyway, the ball's rolling.
Okay.
Okay.
I guess we'll move on to new business. Text them.
So first of all, I wanna say that, I received my letter from Pat Kokowski, about the Restoration Church. And she says that they sent it to, SMPC, and that they concur with the recommendations from the, SMPC. The Planning Commission feels the township should take the simple solution and amend zoning ordinance to allow churches in the commercial zoning district. Thank you for submitting the information for review by the St. Joe County Planning Commission. That's what they say. But, the rest of the churches that we have are in residential, so I don't think the Planning Commission was out of line. You have a map in front of you, and the stuff that's circled is the churches that we have. It was zoned commercial, so that was spot zoning, so we took the spot zoning away, which makes all sorts of sense if we're trying to eliminate spot zoning. I'm not that, you know, I don't think we're gonna do anything about it, we're not, but I don't think there was anything wrong with what we did. What South Central Michigan Planning Council says is, the simplest solution would have been to simply add churches to the C commercial district. The downside is that would continue to spot zone. So they are acknowledging that it was a spot zone, but, and then the recommendation, it does not make sense to rezone
It
this.
does make sense.
Yeah, it does make sense to rezone this to the adjacent R1 district, however, to avoid legal issues, the master plan must also be amended.
So is that the route that you think they're gonna go?
Well, it's done, and we're not gonna undo anything, but the planning commission didn't, I mean, that was the right thing to do,
Right.
cause the rest of the churches were, you know,
They recommended to rezone it to R1. Is that what you're saying? The planning commission?
the planning commission did, yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes, that's, and then the board approved it, but that's not what South Central Michigan Planning Commission thinks we should have did.
So
their recommendation says that. The recommendation is that it does make sense to rezone this. We just have to go the extra step of amending the master plan, right?
Well, it says, the planning commission feels the township should take the simple solution to amend the ordinance to allow churches in commercial zoning district. That's what the letter from St. Joe County says.
Oh, I didn't get the letter.
No, I just got it today in the mail.
Okay. Well,
I will just tell you, that recommendation didn't come until after I sent a harsh email, I guess I'll call it. I watched Willis Productions back here put that meeting out on Facebook. I watched that meeting. And I will tell you that that meeting set me on fire. First of all, there was one of their planning commission members that said if they don't get complete information, that they're just gonna start telling people no. It's our responsibility to get them complete information. My report that went to the county planning commission is the same one that came to this planning commission, which is 51 pages. What apparently happened, and you would think in our county government, I'm glad our commissioner is here. You would think in our county government, what happened is, apparently they emailed this out to their members, which some said, I can't read it on my phone, I can't open it up, whatever. But then their secretary only took pieces and parts out of this report that she felt was important to pass on to the planning commissioner. So they didn't get my full report. But yet they wanna sit there and slam me as a township for not giving them complete information.
They didn't even have one of those at the meeting? Like one packet?
I emailed this packet to their secretary, and I emailed it to Patrick Hudson up there.
But nobody
Apparently
printed it
she didn't.
out.
She apparently didn't print it out. She only printed out specific pages that she wanted them to see.
wow.
So then they say, because if we're not gonna give them complete information, they're gonna start turning stuff down. Kinda put me on fire. So it wasn't until after I sent that email that the recommendation part came out. Because if you listen to it, Patrick Hudson from Southwest Michigan Planning Council did make that comment about the simplest thing would be to just do a text amendment in the commercial district. As Sherry has already said, none of our churches are in a commercial district. So why would we wanna change that? Additionally, we did curb a spot zone. We took a spot zone property out of Mottville Township and now made it in compliance with adjacent properties that are next door. One of the commission members also made the comment when it came to about, well, we're gonna have to amend our master plan. Master plan's a living document. It has to be reviewed every 5 years, it has to be rewritten every 10 years. It's a work in progress. Big deal. But the thing that kind of fueled me again is, there was a comment made, well, tell them it's gonna cost them a lot of money. Well, that's none of their business. It's a livable, breathing document to move on. So, that kind of set me on fire a little bit. And then, unfortunately, I wasn't real happy with Mark. Because Mark made a comment that I pushed the planning commission into doing this. I didn't push anybody into doing anything. I'm your zoning administrator. I'm trained. I'm gonna guess that other than Patrick Hudson at the County Planning Commission, the representative, I'm gonna guess that I have probably more training than any county planning commission member that's there. I didn't push anybody to do anything. I think as a zoning administrator, you as a township expect that I'm gonna do my job and come out with recommendations of what I think is the best route to go based on my training.
Exactly.
They ask, the applicant asks for it to go to the AGRI and rural district, which is on the east side of the old racetrack. On the west side of the old racetrack is single-family residential. Both of those districts allow for churches to be in those districts. One difference and I talked to the applicants ahead of time. One of the differences is, if they ever wanted to do a school in the future, the AGRI district did not allow for it. However, the single-family residential district did allow for it. And I explained to them, and the applicant totally supported my idea of going to single-family residential. So did the planning commission. I didn't push anything on anybody. I made my professional recommendations based on the training that I had. So, right now, I can tell you, I have little respect for the St. Joe County Planning Commission. Nobody bothered to call. Patrick Hudson didn't bother to call and say, Doug, why didn't you go to text amendment to do this in the commercial district? None of that ever happened until after this meeting, and then he still didn't call. It wasn't until after I sent this email out that I got some attention. So, I believe single-family residential is the appropriate district. I stand by my comments. I just think it's way unprofessional of what they've done, and I've spelled it out to them in a letter. You know, when they make these type of comments, I think it puts us more into litigation risk than it does doing what we feel is best. Because if somebody litigates it, and we recommended this, and the board approved it, all of a sudden somebody's gonna come and say, well, why did you do this? Because your county planning commission clearly said you shouldn't do that. Well, to me, that puts us more at risk than if they would just say, hey, we've received a report from Mottville Township for rezoning, we received it, and we're gonna place it on file. That to me would reduce risk humongously. But I think the planning commission did the right thing. I still think they did the right thing, and I do not appreciate the county planning, some of the county planning commission's comments that were made over that. I took offense after a 51-page report that I'm told that I didn't supply complete information.
So what do we need to do?
Nothing,
Oh,
we're not doing nothing.
okay.
Good.
I'm just letting you know that I got the letter and that's what they said, and, but we disagree, and
Okay,
But fall back on this.
yeah, that says recommended to me,
All right.
to do what we want, what we did.
And just like Doug said, as far as this goes,
Mhm.
it gets revised
Yeah.
every 10 years anyway. So fix it then, you know?
We could fix it tomorrow if we want to, but I don't see going through that whole process for one change.
Right. We might have more changes down the road.
Okay, going on to the planning commission met Monday night to review the battery energy storage systems, which will only be allowed in the solar overlay district if the property owner says yes to selling the property, because property owner gets, that's right,
Final word.
it's up to the property
Sell
owner.
or lease.
Yeah, so the planning commission, we approved it, you know, that we adopt this ordinance for battery energy storage. It goes to the St. Joe County Planning Commission first before it comes to Township Court, so hopefully we'll have it at next month's meeting to approve.
You guys remember where we laid that property out at
I do not.
Dickinson Road
Dickinson
and
Road.
131?
Oh, yeah.
There's a couple farms over there, we set aside that as our solar. This battery energy storage system is gonna be poked down our throats
Oh, yeah.
by the state, they feel, and that's where we're gonna put it, if that's the case. If the landowners decide that that's what they wanna do, cause it's up, the final word is by the landowners.
Right.
So,
So
anyway.
the state law does not force the landowner to do anything.
It doesn't?
They do not
That's
have
what I
to
was wondering.
participate
Okay.
if they don't want to. The bad thing about PA 233 and 235 is any other ordinance, and I'm gonna use what's called prima facie speed. If state of Michigan says prima facie speed anytime you're in a residential area. It's not posted, it's automatically 25, but it's recognized as 25. You as a township could do an ordinance, your own speed ordinance. You can be equal to the state, or you can be more restrictive than the state, but you cannot be less restrictive from the state. PA 233 and 235 are the only public acts I know of that are in place that a municipality can do their own, and they can be equal to, but if they go greater than, the applicant can go automatically to the state of Michigan. So we're in a bad spot. If you don't do anything, it's an automatic pass to the state.
Right.
And this is, I'm talking about 50 megawatts or higher, that's utility solar. If you don't have anything, if it's 50 megawatts, if they want to, they can go to the state right off the bat, just based on the megawatts. So, we're in a very bad spot. You know, we had the public hearing here, you had 5 people show up. Constantine had it, we had 3 people show up. I had it in Lockport last week and I had 54 people show up.
Wow.
Hot and bothered. And it's like I've told them, if you don't want this to get forced down your throat, you need to contact your state representatives. Because it's a state law. It's a public act. And it's nothing that we locally can take care of. We can get it shoved down our throat real easy, but there's nothing we can do to change it. And I'll make it very clear, because this has been commented to me, your local state representative, Steve Cara, and your local congressman, or senator, John Lindsay, when this came to vote in the legislation, both our local representatives did vote no on this project. So, just to be clear, our representatives here locally did support what I think most of us are thinking on this issue. There's been some rumblings of trying to repeal it, but I think it's a very slippery slope, and I don't think anybody will ever get to the top of the mountain to get it repealed, but we will see, because there has been some legislators that have said, you know, maybe we did overreach a little bit, and maybe we should consider doing something different, but I'm not sure that that's gonna happen. I think it's a political issue, not a common sense issue.
Okay. Any other new business?
I had the tree people give me another quote on that ugly leaning tree that's in the middle of the driveway next to the frost-free hydrant. If it goes, it's gonna take, several headstones. There's just no way around it. It is a ginormous oak. I have noticed within the past couple weeks that the bark, I'm not talking little pieces, I'm talking great big humongous. It's, yeah, so it's either, and it would be the next tree in line from the one that we had taken down. So I don't know if it got a disease. He said, you know, it's at the end of its life cycle. I mean, he said they don't live forever, you know. And it's out there, you know, flopping in the wind all the time, so I go down there a lot. I've been down there for the past 20 years. It's leaning, and it's leaning bad. So I had him give me a quote, since he's doing work for us down there. But because it is in the middle of the driveway, both in and out, and because the frost-free hydrant is there, he actually has to rope each piece to the ground because he can't let it fall, because he doesn't want to hit the water and he doesn't want to hit the drive because it's asphalt. And so that quote is $5,000 for that tree alone. He'll chip. They chipped everything else off the other tree. The other tree's down on the ground. It's very clean. I mean, I drove in, I'm like, wow, there's nothing laying around. So I wanted to take that to the board because he's here working for us, that we get that one on the ground as well. We haven't trimmed trees, and I was trying to figure out, I told Jan, last time we did it was Kirk and me and my brother-in-law. That had to have been 12, 15 years ago, and we trimmed the whole fence row. I mean, up and the back, and then, you know, and we try to keep the the trees that are in the driveway, we try to trim them often because, you know, but, so it's been that long since any tree's been touched. So,
Amazing how time flies.
I know it, so, I need a motion to approve this.
I make a motion, we approve the additional tree removal.
I'll second.
Okay.
I have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried, remove it.
Okay, thank you. Well, they're gonna chip like they were doing, they're dropping the chips at the veterinarians. She graciously let me have a spot to drop all the chips, I guess I'm gonna call them, because I
Drainage.
well, I didn't want them sitting in a pile down in the cemetery, cause it just doesn't, you know, we got a pile of leaves down there that's been an eyesore all summer, but, Custom Lawn does leaves for us, and they got wet and they couldn't pick them up. And it's a huge pile. It is a huge pile. It's only, you know, it's only this tall, but it's just this huge pile. They just got wet, you know, and then that was the end of that. So they've been there all year, because every time you think it dries, it's wet, and I don't know, whatever. I do have one more thing. I received a resignation letter from our zoning administrator. The letter states that his final day will be December 31st. I wanted to bring that to the board. I do understand that there is a gentleman, I met him last night. I understand that two of our other board members attended a meeting to meet anybody that was interested in.
Applicants.
Yeah, applicants, thank you. Anybody that was interested in zoning administrator and enforcement officer, so. His name is,
Matthew Jorgensen.
okay, where's Matt from?
Coley, Michigan.
Colon, okay. What does Matt currently do?
We'll just read you his short
Yep.
letter if you want.
That's fine, go ahead.
Okay. He said, thanks for your consideration as a candidate for your zoning administrator. I have lived in St. Joseph County my entire life, with the exception of 6 years when I lived in Wisconsin. I grew up in the country south of Mendon. I currently live inside the village of Colon, where I have served approximately 3 years on the Planning Commission, serving as its chairman from January 2025 to present. During this time, I've been involved with a property rezone request and also the writing of a brand new zoning ordinance, including 2 public hearings, and bringing it before the village board for a vote 2 times and seeing it adopted. I've worked in several different industries, both in hands-on labor roles and also office roles. Most notably as a cybersecurity compliance analyst contractor for Consumers Energy in 2017 and 18. I can work with nearly anyone successfully while also having experience in documentation of processes and clear articulation of the requirements. I currently work as a machinist and own a small business on the side. I've included some professional references. Thanks for your consideration, Matt Jorgensen. His references are Roger Krantz, the Sherman Township Trustee Planning Commission Liaison, Carl Thornton, the Colon Village Trustee Planning Commission Liaison, Keith Stickley, Colon Village President Pro Tempore, and Joseph Smallers. He's a local businessman, dentist.
Probably his dentist.
Maybe.
Yep, could be.
Supports him, so, yeah.
Yeah,
So anyway, yeah, with that said, Jan and I went and met with, there was
7 different towns.
7
Ships and-
townships.
yeah.
We had 2 applicants that wanted to interview. And the entire group, the 7 that townships were there, kinda all, I believe, are going to Matt, right, Doug?
The only one that's undetermined yet that I know of is my township over in Cass. going with them just because they had a council member that wants to do it. So she's gonna sit down as a council member and do it over there. But I just wanna point out, that this is not everybody wants this job. So when I started out with the intent to announce my retirement, I ended up with 5 people that told me they wanted it. By the time it got to their process of doing interviews, 3 out of the 5 backed out. So it was just down to 2 people.
And we interviewed them both that night, and, for a couple hours, I felt kind of hard on them, but, cause they walked in and I don't think they really realized what they were in for. But anyway, it worked out, and, we think Matt is probably the best candidate. And, a lot of the other townships also felt that way. Went through about an hour interview with all of us.
He's willing to work with Doug, starting now for a while, and so he can learn
From side by side,
some of the ropes.
some of the things that Douglas does.
Can I see that? I wanna get the spelling of his last name for the minutes, please.
He is resigning from his full-time job to do this on a full-time basis.
Yeah, and he would've, I invited him out tonight, but he had prior obligations that he couldn't break. So everybody could've met him, but we'll get him here the next meeting, and y'all can meet him.
I'll make a motion, we hire Matt on as the zoning administrator and enforcement officer.
Second.
I have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We'll talk to him.
I wanna get a copy of that after the
Okay.
meeting, Jan.
If you're done.
Yeah.
We had a road committee meeting, one thing I've got to sit down with the road committee. I think, you guys went with me last year, didn't you?
Mhm.
I don't know if you wanna go this year again, cause their times are from 12:30 to 2. They don't have any late nights or late afternoons. If you think you can get away, we'll pick a date. And we have October 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, 31st, and then, November 3rd, 4th. Part of the 6th or part of the 5th and the 6th and the 7th. But like I said, I know you guys all work, and I don't know if you can get out of work or not, but I'll go.
I can.
If you want to go. Is there a better time?
Nope, any day.
We guys can discuss.
Maybe
that at
other
the
than
meeting.
Halloween.
Yeah, I won't do it on Halloween, no, Friday.
Don't do it on election day.
I'm not gonna
Let's not do that
I'm
either.
not gonna do it Thursday or Friday, so.
Okay, yeah, any
So,
other day.
I'm thinking like on a Monday or Tuesday, first thing in the morning, get it over with, it's 8:30 to 10, but we can discuss that later, Glenn. Great,
Okay, sure.
thank you. Also, John Lindsay, the road commissioner, is going to retire in December, January,
February, I believe it is.
February, whenever he turns 65. So, that's unfortunate, I feel, because John's done a pretty good job keeping us on good roads. What else did we talk about? We're gonna lose a little revenue sharing. The governor cut the gas tax, I guess, and John said that's gonna affect our revenue sharing a little bit. He doesn't know how much yet, but,
We'll find out.
they're gonna raise the tax on marijuana distributors or sales. What she was trying to do was raise the tax and lower the tax. Be the same tax. So, I'll know more, I'll get more information on that.
So the only people that are really gonna pay for this is people who smoke.
There you go. There you go.
Until they don't, then.
Doug,
Yeah.
if you back up just a minute, I didn't hear you comment either, when you hired Matt Jorgensen, just so you're aware, everybody so far is taking my name off the contract and putting his name on it, and he's willing to do that.
Okay. Work under the same contract.
I'm a board member.
Okay, board members got anything else? I don't think I
Election is, November 4th. Constantine School's going for a millage, and then 911, it's a renewal. It's just renewal on their 911. Whatever you wanna call it, I gotta read it, 'cause,
You gotta be
yeah,
here.
yes.
Actually, it's a little bit less. The 911 millage you're asking for is a little bit less than it currently is.
Wow.
That's weird, cause it says renewal, and on the ballot it says renewal, which you would think it would renew up the
It's
same,
just a
but,
tiny fraction less.
yeah, it's here. At 7 in the morning. Yeah.
Anybody? Public? Anybody got anything? Sir in the back row? I won't ask you to stand up.
All right, thank you. In regards to the, road tax issue, it will affect the townships. However, you have 4 of the 7 county commissioners who are fighting to keep the subsidy that we give to the road commission that contributes towards helping townships with their 50/50 match. So, it's not set in stone yet, but we went through the first budget meeting, and it was made very clear that at least 4 of us want the same contribution that we have given for the last couple of years, which is 200,000. So, that money will help townships with their match money.
Yeah.
John Lindsay's already talking about, yeah, you may lose it there, but, with the county contributing their money, you shouldn't be negatively impacted.
Well, we hope.
Yeah, we hope, right?
Yeah. And I mean,
And D. Meyer. Had to
what are
put a-
they doing?
Had to put a roof on it, and
What's going in it? What are they gonna do with it? I see they got big tanks and all kinds of stuff out there.
I don't really know.
They've not applied for any change of use,
I
I
was
can tell you
gonna
that.
say, yeah,
I don't even think they got the garage door. It's still open building, right?
Yeah.
It's still open, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the roof had a big hole in it, and he bought a mess, is what he bought.
yeah.
Yeah, that's about all they've done to upgrade the building, is one side of the roof. But I'd like to know if they're gonna, them tanks are gonna be holding chemicals or what?
I don't know what tanks are there. I haven't seen anything there.
Are they in the
How
building,
often you
Keith?
drive by the place?
I don't. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I go to work from shift
Are they-
1, I go the other way.
Are they in the
No.
building or
No.
outside the building?
I think they're just crated up right now. aren't they?
Yeah, they're sitting outside the building.
In crates? Are
One
they?
of them is. The
Yeah,
other is
I
just-
don't know what he's doing. I haven't talked to
I'd sure
him.
like to know what's going on, if there's gonna be chemicals and all that kind of stuff back there in them big tanks. You gotta have permits and stuff for it.
No.
We have to find out whether he can even do what he wants to do via zoning, so. Do you wanna contact him, or help me send him over?
I'll find out. I can call you, let you know. See what his, I don't know what his plans are or anything.
I would just encourage him to get a hold of me, cause if it's not a use that's allowed there, it'd be a shame that he puts everything in and finds out he gets shut down after spending all that money.
Yeah.
It was a cabinet shop before, wasn't it? That's what I thought, yeah.
Yeah, there's been more than, guy owned it one time, built dog houses in there.
That's kinda like a cabinet shop, Keith.
Yeah, and then another guy named Dressler, they were, made drapes for travel trailers and stuff.
Was it a sewing shop, wasn't it? or-
Yeah,
And at some point, somebody put some living quarters in there, which was illegal.
yeah, that was, the guy bought my property from him. The guy that, was living there, his son was living there.
Yes, sir.
Is there a business name for the new potato plant?
Is there a business name? It's,
Is there,
we don't know, it's Leonard Ag, that's who's doing it.
did they get put up a sign or anything out there?
I don't know, they haven't applied for one.
Haven't applied for one, though.
The,
I don't know, are they putting potatoes in there?
Yes, oh, yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
are.
well, they've been hauling them in for a month.
yeah.
The, electrician came here one day, he seen the car, he stopped, asked me some questions. He was from like, other side of the state, Port Huron or something, he said. And I said, you gotta be kidding me, and he said, well, the electrician that they hired couldn't do something or something anyway, so he said, when they called me, I said, well, let me give you a quote, and he goes, no, you don't understand. If you want the job, I need you here Monday. He said, I packed up my crew and we're living here through the week, and then on the weekends, they go home. And he said, wherever else they are located, he said, they have a ginormous building that they store potatoes in. And he said, they're losing that building. And he said, the guy wants to sell it, and of course, he wants more money for that building than they have in 3 buildings, so they can put 3 more up over here. So he said, I'm here for the long haul right now. He says, I gotta get these 3 done, and so, but I hadn't seen anything come through that they were gonna,
That's great.
Oh, is it?
I don't know, he didn't say. Yeah, oh, was that where they were?
Yeah.
Well, he wanted, yeah,
Now, that was a curtain shop too.
Yep.
yeah, $1 zillion, so, yeah, I don't know. They may put up a small sign, but I can't imagine them putting up anything really.
You gonna have an open house?
No, I don't even, I'll bet there
Free
ain't
baked
an office
potatoes
there.
for everybody.
No, there's no potato, there's no office, it's
There's
just
no
storage.
office, it's
It's
just
just cold storage.
They just run gas lines through my property to get back there.
Yeah, they run AC in them buildings.
Oh, yes, they do.
Keep 'em cold.
Cold and dark.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
yep.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know anything about the little fishing hole down on Vistula, the bridge? There are 3 posts that have been installed with a sign that says private property now.
Good.
That's probably.
It's not private property.
Well, when I talked to, you, are you talking about where you drive off? That is private property, that's owned by Larry Chuck.
Chuck, yeah.
That, I've talked to
Used to be
John,
the county.
huh?
Used to be the county.
They take responsibility to the end of the guardrail.
Okay.
Cause I've asked them, I said, can I set cement blocks there? Cause I'm tired of cleaning up the trash,
Mhm.
okay?
Because I knew it was from the fence back.
Larry Chuck cannot, he's been in the hospital for 40, 50 days
Yeah,
already.
he's been in there for a while.
So I've got some 3,500 pound concrete blocks, and I would like to block that off for them and for the people of the township to keep cleaning it up, because they use it for a dump.
Oh, yeah, they have for years.
There was a tent set up there a while back.
So I have talked to the road committee about that, and we can do, as long as we stay our setback from the center of the road.
So they've relinquished their rights to the old bridge approach and everything in there.
So,
Yeah, 'cause I went flying through there in the dark and I thought, what the heck was that? There was something, there on the edge of the road.
So I think, yeah, the Chucks probably put something.
Yeah, there's
up.
like 3 white posts and then just a tiny little sign if you.
Yeah.
catch a little bit.
Well, and they're tired of cleaning up stuff too. I know Jody comes up and the kids come up and try to clean it up, but. Young man, do you have anything?
Nope.
Nope. Anybody else?
What's the status of our dispensaries?
State Line called me last week, they're close, they're really getting close.
I had a meeting met one of the guys. They're shooting for the end of the month
Right here.
in Mottville. Yeah, downtown.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought he originally told us Labor Day was his goal.
Yeah, the White Pigeon one took longer. They just got their permits and everything from the state 3 weeks ago, so they got, White Pigeon is open, I think, and running. I don't know, I haven't drove down there to see. And they figured this one, they're about done with the exterior. They got a few more posts to put in at the driveway to where the people won't be able to exit out the driveway onto US 12. So there's some posts that's gotta be put in. They had a new asphalt put down. They got some fence work to do in the back to get the fence up like they said they would, but everything's, that I can see, is moving along like they said they would do, so.
Paige has her hand up.
The one in White Pigeon opened on Monday.
It opened Monday?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought that's what they said, but I wasn't sure. Thank you.
And it's behind the laundromat, it's back in there?
You
So,
gotta go down one.
do you know where
31.
McDonald's is?
Yeah.
It's like, you know where the storage units beside it? It's like in that area.
You
It's,
can see it from,
It's,
Yeah.
you look down
South
the railroad
Avenue,
tracks. Yeah.
right there by where Jackson Tire used to be.
Okay.
back
the
that
guy,
way.
the guy from Constantine used to think.
Well, I know, but Nicole, but I didn't know where it
It's
was.
his?
It's his building,
Oh,
They
okay.
bought
half
it.
of it, half of it.
Okay.
We got half of it.
Okay.
So they should be open pretty quick. They're way behind, but.
Have you been,
I'm getting all nervous about it.
have you been into the State Line Tavern?
Not in a couple weeks.
I seen a picture, cause Juanita Oldfield had her Sturgis nurse party there. It's all white
Yeah,
inside.
they
Nice.
not dark in there anymore.
Nice.
My opinion, they should have put the bar in the new part and switched
Switch
it
that
around.
to it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause the kitchen's really tiny, but
Boy,
Susan
it's-
said that, she had some friends that were raving about the chicken there. And somebody else said, well, where is this located? Where were you getting this chicken, you know? And I told her, I said, well, to my knowledge, it was only on Sundays. Now, maybe they opened that up a little bit, I don't know, but
He said he wasn't going to.
Yeah.
It's like
Just
prime
on
rib on
Saturday.
Friday.
It was.
Saturday.
Fish on Friday.
Fish
fish
on Saturday.
Okay,
And the chicken on Sunday, yeah.
that's their menu.
I've been there for 2 of those, and I just haven't
I
done
mean,
it.
Lester's a good cook though. The chicken isn't quite as good as it was.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Who'd they lose?
Oh, that one woman.
That first woman that was
Crazy
in there
one.
when they bought it.
Crazy Teresa?
Yeah.
This one acts like she got Tourette's a little bit. yeah,
Teresa quit, or she left, or?
Yeah, she left it on Helen, I guess.
No, they let her go.
Did he? I don't know.
Yeah.
I just go down there for the beer. So.
She was, the story I was told by the people down there is, she had a piece of equipment in there, and she was taking it home, right? They thought she was stealing it, so they cut her loose, so, they never completely worked it out, I guess. But supposedly, whatever she was taking belonged to her, so, but they seen her on the camera, taking it out of there, so.
Right.
yeah.
And then they lost a good cook.
They did, she was a good cook, very good cook. And yeah, the food did go downhill a little bit, but it's coming back a little bit. I like to go down there and eat a lot.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Yeah.
Second.
A motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.